My beautiful people, welcome to day 8 of the challenge. It's yours truly. Yours truly, is that a word? Yeah, I think it is. It's me, and welcome back. Today I'm doing a video in the bat of watching another video, beautiful video called the slow poison of endless fantasy. It's by this account called After School that makes like these videos. Can you see that? Not very well. Oh my god. Well, oh no, I left. Never mind. They make these videos about basically like philosophical messages and stories and myths and analogies in order to communicate, I guess, the beauty and the ugliness and the essence of human existence, because they talk about lots of different topics and lots of different perceptions and yeah, things. But this video just slapped me in the face, and I want to talk about it a bit. I'm sorry if I'm being too loud. I'm just very excited, and it was honestly like I'm making this video for myself completely, because what I got from this is, kids, stop living in a fucking dream and start living your life day to day, doing the shit that will make you become whoever you need to become, and like get out of the fantasy in our own imagination, because I think I'm not the only one. I think sometimes we entertain our imagination too much, and I mean, if you're watching this, you probably have access to YouTube, to Instagram, to the whole spectrum of content there is out there, and this has just nurtured our imaginary possibilities and our scenarios that we can create and where we can be and what we can do. And that's, I think, a big problem of my generation, because there's so many shit to do that you don't know what to do, and it's like, where do I go? This video, what it communicates, it's basically this guy. It's a young knight. It's back in the medieval era, and he's this very promising young fellow. He's very handsome, very good looking. He has all the potential in the world. All the people in the neighborhood say, in the town, in the village, because it was back then, they say he's so promising. He's gonna make amazing things. He's gonna do amazing things, and he was this very promising sword fighter. And one day he goes home, and there's this spirit that he calls himself the spirit of seeing, if I'm not wrong. And he basically shows you whatever you want to see. And the kid says, okay, I want to see the most beautiful woman in the world, and shows him the most beautiful woman he's ever seen. And then I want to see my idol fighting against the most vicious villains. And then he goes and shows him his idol fighting the most vicious villain. And then it's basically at the end of the video, he calls himself the devil, because it was 10 years that this kid did not stopped living life, stopped practicing sword fighting, stopped talking to women, stopped living, because it was much more comfortable being in his house doing absolutely nothing and having all these possibilities, these imaginary scenarios in front of him, and just be there watching and just enjoying the feeling of seeing it happen, and not being himself, acting and doing and going through it, because it's not always that easy. And I think that's what happens with the mind. We imagine ourselves in these beautiful scenarios in which we have it all, we've done it all, and we've become whoever we want to become, and we in our minds we can do whatever, right? I mean, and that's the thing. The mind can't separate what's truth from what's fake. So when we imagine ourselves in these beautiful scenarios, you can feel it, and your body responds to it. And that's the thing. If you entertain that too long, the feeling you get stimulated by your thoughts, and then when it comes to real life and you're not in that fucking position, then you feel disappointed. And that's not right, because that's living in a dream. That's living in your own mind. That's living in imagination, in not reality. And I guess, God, I'm fucking euphoric right now. And because I felt it so much, I sometimes just live in my mind. And how do I think we battle this in order for this not be only a fucking rant of me speaking about my imagination? Honestly, I think it's mindful practice. It's finding these things that bring us back into reality, that bring us back into the fiber of existence, and doing them as much as possible, and fucking showing up, exercise, meditating, yoga, work, whatever it is you need to sit down and do, and go through it. It sounds dramatic, but suffer through it, because sometimes it's not nice. Sometimes you don't feel like doing exercise. That's actually what I love about Mike Chang's workout. I've recommended him before on this channel. He says it during the workouts. Kid, if today is not the day that you feel strongest, don't put your body into don't suffer so much, take it easy. There's going to be days that you feel stronger, and those days push a bit harder. But if you're here, if you're showing up, if you're doing the exercise, that's the important thing. And I think that applies to everything we want to accomplish in this life, and to everything all the little steps that we need to take in order to accomplish that. Because it doesn't come by work of magic. You need to work for shit. You need to put in the fucking work, and every single day a little bit more, a little bit better, because you're going to learn how you did it before and how it doesn't work, and then you're going to see how it works, and then someone that has done it before is going to come into your life, and he's going to be like, oh, look, this worked for me, maybe try it out, and then it might work for you. You're going to have to adapt it to your way of being and of working and of existing, but that's the beauty of life. We get better at shit the more we do it, and the more we talk to people that have done it before. So yeah, I guess do those things that that will take you somewhere. And if you're lost, if you don't know what you're good at, if you don't feel you have a purpose in this life, honestly, what I say is go back. Don't look so hard, but go back to your kid self. Imagine it. Look at what I've talked in the other video. I mean, not imagine it, but go back like in your thoughts. How were you? How did you think? How did you act? Go back to school albums. Go back to school photos. Go back to things you did as a kid. Go back to videos if you have your birthdays at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. Go back to that and sit with yourself at that point in life, because that's where you fucking come from. That's you as a little toddler that was just enjoying life without overthinking everything and without knowing as much as you know today. There's a famous saying that, if I'm not wrong, says the more you know, the unhappier you are. And I think it applies to what I've been talking about. The more we know, the more possibilities that come around us, the more unhappy we become, because the less, I guess, if you're not clear on what your path is, the options pile up, and then it's like what I was talking about. What the fuck do I do now? There's so many things, there's so many opportunities, there's so many options. And then I'll say, go back. And it's hard to say this and to talk about this, more so when I haven't solved this myself. I guess this is a start, but fuck, I mean, try things out. Honestly, I think when you do something, okay, apologies for the big ass truck that just passed by. When we do things, we can feel how we're interacting with them, how we are when we're doing them. And I think that's something to follow. If you're drawing, if you're singing, if you're talking in front of a fucking camera and it feels good, and you do it and it keeps feeling good, even though sometimes it feels like shit because sometimes you don't do it as well as you hope you do, that is the path to follow. And oh God, I'm sorry. It's that now that I say this, but then what do you tell them to? Sometimes it's not that easy, and sometimes you need to work on other things to survive. And I guess this is a very privileged standpoint from where I'm talking. But God damn it, I guess for now I can talk for where I'm at and what I've been through and what I've lived. And for some reason in the universe, I've been very privileged, and I'm so grateful for all the beautiful things that come with it. And funnily enough, I think that's a big part of the existential how do I say this, like frequency of my thoughts, and I guess it's been studied and it's been talked about how after your basic needs are met, then your journey becomes about self-realization and what's my role in the world. And I guess most of my life I've been in that point, and I don't know what I'm saying. No, I do. And I do need to enhance more the other side, but I'm going to stop right there. That's enough about me. I'm going to go back to my point. I'm not really sure about what I'm saying, so I'm going to go back. Yeah, I guess the point is live mindfully. Do these things and practice these things that bring you back to life, that bring you back to the fiber of existence. Because those things, I think, are the ones that keep our feet on the fucking ground. Today, for example, was experiment and do new things as well. You have your line, you know what your path is, where your path is going, but also try new things, new little things here and there, because that keeps you not only entertained, but it keeps your feet on the ground again. Because I'm going to go to what I was about to talk about. I did a ceramics class today, and I was shit at it, but it felt good to be shit at it, because it's like, I know if I put in the practice, I'll become better at this, and I can make cool shit, you know? But and that's like, it's like learning a new language. It's like learning these new things that humble us a bit and bring us back to the badasses that sometimes we think we are. We are, but sometimes we're not, you know, because I think it's good to think of yourself as a badass and as someone that can do whatever they want to do, because you can. It's just about going for it and working for it, and not living in your fantasy and in your imagination of what could be. Yeah. So live mindfully, try out new things, and work fucking hard. I guess that's the message from today. Yeah. Fuck, that was good. Besides the rant I made about myself, which maybe was a bit exposing, but it's okay. I don't really care. It's fine. I can live with that. Yeah, I mean, just thank you for listening if you did, and if not, thank you as well for existing. And yeah, have a beautiful rest of the day, night, whenever you're listening to this. Yeah, have a blast. Love you all.